Hey everybody, Jeff Schneider here. Today is Friday, July 21, and here's your loop of the day. Okay, there it is. Let's break it down. So we got three elements here. We've got the bass and the drums, we've got the keys, and then we have the lead on top of the keys. I'll start with just the bass and the drums. This is what it sounds like. Okay, here's the keys by themselves. And I'm going to break down the keys part in just a second, so hang tight. And then when you put the lead on top of the keys, it sounds like this. And in case you're wondering, the settings on that synth lead are right here. So if you guys want to take a look at that, this is Monarch from Native Instruments, and it's a pretty cool lead sound that we dialed in here. So have a look, and now let's move over to the chords. So let's break down the chords. We're in the key of F major, D minor. We're going to start with this cool drop 2 walk up. All right, so that's going from D minor 7, and it's drop 2. This is a thing called drop 2 voicings. Basically, if you take a closed position D minor 7 chord, this is D minor in second inversion, and drop 2 means you drop the second from the highest note, the second highest note, which is D. You're going to drop it down the octave like that. And then we're going to go here. This is C sharp diminished 7. There's the C sharp diminished in closed position, drop 2. This is the second highest note, drop it down an octave. And then we're going to go to F sharp diminished 7, drop 2. This is also F sharp diminished 7, just in another inversion, but also drop 2. And essentially what we're doing here is we're walking up to G minor 7. This is our destination, and we're getting there by going with the 1 chord, which is D minor. Then we're doing this C sharp diminished, which is like the 7 chord. C sharp is the 7 chord in the key of D minor. But then we go to F sharp diminished, which is the 7 chord in the key of G minor. So it's sort of like a secondary dominant in a way. But this F sharp diminished 7 chord relates to the G minor 7, which is where we're going here. And then C13 to C sharp diminished, back to D minor. So this whole thing here is kind of like a 2-5, but not a 1 at the end of that. It's not 2-5-1, it's 2-5-6. It's this deceptive cadence. So 2, this is now in the key of F, 2, 5, then this is the 7 of 6, and then there's 6. All these numbers that I'm talking about are chord functions. If you guys haven't checked out my my chord scale chart, it details out all of these chord functions in a really clear way. I'll link that up top and down below. Really, really helpful for understanding how all these chord functions work. So now, let's see, where are we? Okay, now we're going to do the walk up again. Second time, a little bit different now. So now we have G minor over F, E minor 11 flat 5. This is A7 sharp 11 flat 9, or A7 flat 9 sharp 11. So what's going on here is we have this pretty classic walk down progression of and then we're going to go to D minor. So the bass line is, you see this a lot in Benny Golson tunes, for all you jazzers out there. Benny Golson, he wrote like Along Came Betty and Whisper Not, excuse me, Whisper Not. This progression where you're on the 4 chord, and then, so for instance, we got G minor, then we do the G minor over F, so that's the flat 7 of the G minor chord, and then we do the 2, 5, 1, and we end up on the 6th chord. So I know because the numbers get confusing here when we're talking about minor and major keys, because I've been kind of shifting back and forth between D minor and F major. This might be a little bit confusing, but just know that this could be thought of in the key of D minor or the key of F major, because those two keys are very much related. Okay, let's back up a second. This is F major. So it's a 2 chord with the 7 in the bass, and then 2, 5, 1 to the 6th chord. I know it's getting crazy here. We're going to keep going. If you guys want, I do one-on-one lessons over Skype, so we can always explain it further there. But let's continue on. So we're going to do D minor, D flat 7. This is like a C minor 11 to B augmented, B7 augmented, B7 sharp 5. This is B flat major 13 to E flat 7, E flat 13 actually, E flat 13. So this progression here is pretty cool. We're on the D minor, we're going to D flat 7. So this D flat 7 is sort of a tritone substitution for G7, because usually you would have a D minor to G7 to C minor, 2, 5, 1, but instead we're doing D flat as a sub for the G7 to C minor, and then another tritone substitution with the B7 sharp 5. This is a substitute for F7, and then B major 13 is the 4 chord in the key of F major. This is the flat 7 7 in the key of F. This is E flat 13, which is the flat 7 7. And then we do something kind of neat here. Usually when you have a flat 7 7 chord, even though it's not a diatonic chord, it does often resolve back to the 1. But instead of doing that, we're going to treat this as a 5 of A flat, which it is. E flat 7 is the 5 of A flat. So, and then going to D flat major 7, so that's a 4th away from A flat major 7. Going down to C7 sharp 9, and finally resolving to F major. And that's going to get us back to the beginning. So I'll do the whole thing, I'll do the second time, because that's where all the action happens. Walk it up. Two, 5, 1 to D minor. Here's the tritone sub to the 4 chord in the key of F major, that's B flat major, to the flat 7 7, E flat is the flat 7 7 in the key of F, but we're going to treat it as a 5 chord to A flat major 7, to D flat major 7, to C7 sharp 9. There it is. All right, I'll play the whole thing and then we'll call it a day. All right, here we go. All right. I know this was a complicated one, but we had to go big with the harmony today because it's Friday, and that's not a reason. Again, check out the chord scale chart. That's going to help you a lot with the functions of the chords. And if you do want to learn more about this, if any of this was too confusing to understand over the YouTube video, feel free to reach out to me for Skype lessons. I will link that up at the end of the video. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.